Hello dear students, it's me again Umesh Madi with your same poem, that is The Road Not Taken. This is a very famous and beautiful poem which is written by Robert Frost, an American writer. And it is the poem which talks about the journey of life. Through this poem, the writer Robert Frost wants to communicate an idea of choices and alternatives, or the options which can come in our life. The way we have to select the options in our life that can be good or bad for our future. So while selecting these options and alternatives, one has to be very attentive. And that's what in the previous video we have seen the first two stanzas of this poem. Now we will see the further stanzas of this poem. Then here next we have the stanzas of this poem. So let's see the stanza. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that passing there, had worn them really about the same. So through this stanza, the writer Robert Frost wants to say, then he takes the other road. That means when the writer came on the fork of the roads, then he has to select either of the road. So the writer, the Robert Frost, takes the other road, which was just as good as other. That means both the roads were same. Both the roads were travelled by equally. And that's what he felt more attached or more attracted to it, because it was very grassy and did not seem much travelled by. And that's what the writer says here, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Here wanted wear means here needed to be used. So the either of the road was, according to the writer view, it was not used much by the travelers. And that's what the writer has been selected, the road which was not travelled by much. Next the writer says here, after his observation as he walked along as much as he could, he observes that both the road, both the places where the writer says here, as he stands there for a long time and peers down, and one road till the place where it bends, and it was covered with the bushes. That means though as for that passing there, had warned them really about the same. Here the writer wants to say, though as for that passing there, though he was passing through that road which was selected by him, had warned them really about the same. And he found that the either of the road also it was travelled by equally as the prior road was travelled. Because of the grassy, bushish-like plants, writer, the poet, couldn't notice the footprints or mark of the travellers over that road. And the writer, as he travelled with the same road, at the fork when he reached, he found there both the roads seem to be or like to be equally well used or well traveled. This is the fact the writer found through his journey. The next stanza we can see, and both that morning equally lay in the leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I camped the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Through these stanza, through these lines, the writer wants to say that morning both of them means both of the roads like to be used equally, which was covered with the leaves and that had not been blackened. That means they have not blackened, they have not walked by footsteps of people. Here the writer wants to say, when in that morning he starts his journey, he found that both the roads were equally used, which were covered with the leaves and grass. After that, it seems to him that the road had not been blackened, not been traveled by the footprints of the people. And then the thought comes in his mind that he chose the another road. That means he selected one of the road and kept the another road for the next day, the another day. And however he knew that how one decision lead to another, and he doubted if he would ever come back to the same road, because when he started the journey, he realized that the same road would take him to the several new paths and ways or roads. Because after selecting one of the faculty, one of the choice, one of the alternatives, the person will get further choices in the life too. Or there is no any possibilities to come back to the earlier choice or the earlier road, as the same point is mentioned in this poem. The writer is going with the way, but he knew that he would not come back to the earlier road which was left for the another day by him. And this is what the same conditions, same situations arises in our day-to-day life. And there we have to make a proper decision. We have to make a proper option. And that option would lead our life with success. So dear students, in this way we have seen about the explanation or the summary of the poem, that is the road not taken. Now let's see the rhyming scheme of this poem. Now here we have the rhyming pattern like fair, where, there. All the words are sound same, so A and A. Claim doesn't sound same, so B. That means this stanza consists with the rhyming scheme or the rhyming pattern, that is A, B. Okay? That means fair, where, there. Claim, same. So A, B. Claim sounds with same. Next also we can see lay, A, A, lay, day, way, A, black, back, B, and B. So in this way we can see the rhyming pattern of this poem. Next we will see the figure of speeches which are used in this poem. Okay, so let's see the linings of these poem one by one, and we will see what type of poetic devices are used through this poem. So the first line, they took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that passing there had warned them really about the same. So in this line or in this stanza we can find simile this figure of speech. The first line, they took the other as just as where, that means simile. Next line we can see that because it was grassy and wanted where, wanted where, because it was grassy and wanted where, personification. Okay, next we can see the figure of speech through the line, though as for that passing there had warned them really about the same. Here you can find the alliteration. T sound is repeated. T consonant sound is repeated. So there we can find alliteration. Also we can find the line because it was grassy and wanted where, there also we can find the repetition of the consonant sound W. That is alliteration. Okay. Next line we will see, and both the morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I caved thee first for another day. In this line we can find the oh. It is a kind of sound. So sound consists with a figure of speech, that is onomatopoeia. Don't forget. So in this way we have seen about the poetic devices, and one more poetic device you can see here, that is a kind of scene. Imagery it has used in leaves. In leaves no step had trodden black. Here we can find imagery. So you have understood the poetic devices as well as rhyming pattern and rhyming scheme of these stanzas. In the next video lecture we will see the further stanza and again the poetic devices. Thank you for watching this video and have a nice day.